What's going on, guys? Danny here from Metal Couch, and I haven't done a video like this in a couple of years now, mostly because I haven't been playing guitar for a couple of years now, and I recently decided that I wanted to get back into it because I missed it a lot, and with a portion of my tax return this year, I decided to go guitar shopping, and I picked up this beauty here. This is the ESP LTD EC401QM. This is a Eclipse shape, kind of a Les Paul style body, and wow. I picked this guitar up at a guitar center. I started playing it, and I was immediately blown away at how great this thing sounded, at how well it felt in my hands, and just overall a well-crafted instrument. To kind of go over some features with this particular guitar, you have a mahogany body, mahogany neck with a rosewood fingerboard on here. You got the ESP block flag inlays. In the pickups here, you have the 81, EMG 81, and then you have the 60 here in the neck. So EMG loaded, even though I've been a staunch opponent against EMGs for who knows how long. They finally got me. They finally got me in a guitar that sounds exceptional. This is also a bit of a departure for me because if you guys remember, I was really into flying Vs. I had the Dave Mustaine VM&T a couple years back that I eventually got rid of, which I shouldn't have because it turns out they don't make that model anymore, so it's probably worth a little bit more money than what I sold it for. This guitar, though, is just, as I said before, it feels great in my hands. When I made the decision to get back into playing guitar, there were a few rules I had set for myself. Number one was I didn't want to go too expensive with it. The Dean Dave Mustaine VM&T was an $800. Well, when it first came out, it was a $1,000 guitar, and then when I got it back in 2010, I think it had finally dropped to $800. That's very expensive. This particular LTD, and I can't quite explain it, but when I went to Guitar Center, they had two finishes for this. They had this wonderful black finish that you see here, this kind of quilted satin smoky black, and then they also had a similar top but in more of a dark cherry red, but that dark cherry red was considerably more expensive than this one, and this is a brand new instrument. This is not used. Granted, I mean, the only time you could say that it's been used is that it's been on a showroom floor, which, even then, it's in great shape. There are no dings on the body, anything like that. Nothing wrong with the frets, the fretboard. Honestly, if I had the camera work, or the proper camera setup, I would do nice sweeping shots of the inlays and things like that. Like, it was just in great shape, and it was hundreds of dollars cheaper than that red, and which works out for me because I didn't really care much for that red. But going on a bit of a tangent here, the rules that I had when buying a new guitar was I didn't want to go outrageous with the shape. I wanted something that was a little bit more traditional, a little bit more classy, if you will, but still has the ability and the look, that kind of heavy metal look. And ESP and LTD guitars make great products. I've honestly, in the past, I've played their instruments, but had never really considered buying them because I was so obsessed with things like outrageous, like the Jackson King V shape, or the VM&T shape, or Explorers. Like, before I made that rule, I was seriously considering getting one of the Epiphone 84 Explorers in black, because hey, Explorers are cool, you get it in black because metal, and then this thing came along and is like, you know, we heard that you like metal, we heard that you like a little bit of class, kind of a classy shape, classy top and finish. Why not throw something at you that can do heavy metal and also look damn good? and that's what the EC401QM is. As far as special features go, with pickups and things like that, you're not going to find coil taps or coil splits on this guitar. It's just a straight up 2-volume, 1-tone control, 3-way toggle. There's no, splitting of the pickups or anything like that. It's just, here's an EMG 81 in the bridge and a 60 in the neck. As far as the tuners go, we've got Grover tuners on here. I don't know which specific Grover tuners they are, but after about 2 weeks of owning this guitar, it doesn't really go out of tune. I've been playing it for at least an hour every day, and I've maybe had to tune this 2 times over the past 2 weeks. So that for me is a nice testament to the strength of the tuners. Still need to buy more strings. Now that I'm thinking about it, I should probably buy more strings after I'm done shooting this video. But I am thoroughly impressed with LTD guitars. Another one of the reasons why I decided to buy one of their instruments is because they recently put out a signature model that I wanted, and that was the Bill Kelleher Eclipse, which is more of a full thickness, because if you can see right here, this is not that thick of a Les Paul style guitar. This is actually very thin for something like that. The Bill Kelleher signature was a full thickness, and I really like heavy guitars. I like huge guitars. They make me feel comfortable while I'm standing and playing them. Like you've got this giant hunk of wood here, but this works just fine for me. I was honestly surprised when demoing guitars to find that this relatively smaller shape felt very comfortable sitting down, playing it on my leg. Another thing I want to talk about is satin finishes. This is a satin finish guitar. I have not really been big on satin finishes before, but I think I'm starting to fall in love with that type of finish. It just feels nice and smooth, and from a distance, like even on camera right now, you can kind of tell it's satin, but if I were to back up maybe about 10 feet away, you probably wouldn't be able to tell if it was satin finish or not. And another thing that bothered me is typically I don't like finished necks. Glossy necks to me feel gross. When your hand starts to get a little sweaty from playing a lot, that it works with the gloss and just has this nasty, disgusting feeling. With this satin, it feels great. This is so smooth, and that was the thing that I was worried about when purchasing this guitar, is how is that going to feel if I'm playing for an hour and my hand starts to sweat or something like that? How's that going to feel on the back of the neck? And it feels great. Again, I'm slowly starting to realize that I love satin finishes on guitars more than gloss. The Dean VM&T, even though it did have a gloss neck, there was something about it that it felt great. I don't really know how to describe it, put it into words, but it just felt correct, and I never felt that disgusting feeling. But if I were to play a Jackson that had a finished neck, which good luck finding those nowadays. Nowadays they just put maple on the back of it, which is like, Jackson, you're doing something right for once. It would just feel nasty and gross after playing for a while, and you don't want to put your hand on the back of the neck, and it's just, oh god, it's gross. But I digress. Other things about this guitar, this would have been useful for me about a year ago when I was a lot fatter, but here they've got this nice contoured belly cut into the body, so that way when you're playing, unlike a traditional Les Paul, it's not like pushing up against your stomach or anything like that, which even then, back when I was really overweight, I didn't have much of a problem playing Les Pauls without belly cuts, so that's whatever. Another big thing is this cutaway down here, I think, is a little bit more, it's definitely more contoured. If you were to look right in here, again, there's another cutout in the body, and apparently this is a new thing with newer Eclipse models. Up until a few, might be like 1 or 2 years ago, apparently they didn't have much of a contour here, from my understanding. I could be wrong about this. Feel free to correct me in the comments. but they didn't really have much of a contour here, even though this is a 24 3/4 scale and has 24 frets. Without having that major cutaway there and trying to reach those upper frets, I could easily see that being an issue. Yeah, made in Korea, so Korea makes some fine-ass instruments. The binding on the body is great. Let's see if I can get a close-up on that. Maybe. Let's see if my camera cooperates. There you go. It's a nice binding on there. And it looks and it sounds amazing. I was able to pick this thing up, and when I got home, I started playing. I played for about 2.5 hours. Not even plugged in. Because oddly enough, I didn't buy an amp with this. I just wanted to sit down and I just wanted to play stuff unplugged and just see where it goes. And I just had such a blast playing this guitar for like 2.5 hours in my room. And it's fucking magic, man. It's what it was. And it's making me fall in love with music again. And even though I'll probably never be like the level of like Marty Friedman or Steve Vai, be this ultra mega shredder, I can still have fun playing this instrument, playing things that I like to play, playing things that I've wrote. And it doesn't necessarily, I am not the best guitarist in the world, but I am definitely happy coming home from work, sitting down and playing this fine instrument from LTD. So, good job, ESP LTD. You got me. I bought one. Also, that logo on the headstock, I much prefer this old classic logo compared to the weird cursive they've got going on now. LTD, stick with that. Trust me, it looks way better. It looks more aggressive. It's like, here's an LTD rather than, here's an LTD. So I know this is a bit of a departure from metal reviews and things like that, but I just wanted to show off and talk about this wonderful guitar from ESP LTD. If you have any questions about the guitar, you can leave a comment in the comment section below. You can follow me on Twitter at MetalCouch if that's how you would prefer to message me. That's totally cool. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Cool stuff's coming in the future. Kind of have a little bit more spare time so I can actually put content out again. I know I've said this a million times, but yeah, there's more content coming soon. Thanks a lot for watching, and this has been the LTD EC401QM, a fine-ass guitar. Thanks a lot, guys.